Ryan, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? You well?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I was busy filming today, so it was a big run round and be like, oh, I've got to be here for 6
You
o'clock.
just like never stop, do you? Are you just always making movies?
I just don't see. I'm bored. I'm bored otherwise.
Well,
I think
fair,
it's
but
literally I've got to be doing something.
well, congrats on Street Trash. Congrats on screening it at the New Bev and having that, right? The New Bev, right?
Yeah, New Beverly. Yeah,
That's so cool. And it must just be so incredible to have your take on this film just be already welcomed so warmly, even before it's officially like fully
yeah.
out.
No, it was great. I mean, when it originally came about, um, when I screened Fry Barry at Joe Bob's Last Drive, and a lot of people were saying this would be a good fit with this director. So I thought nothing of it. I didn't expect this to happen. And then when the producers approached me, I was like, yeah, I'd love to do this. But as a fan of the original and watching it as a kid, you know, I wanted to play homage to the original film and a few nods, but do my own thing. Because when
Oh
it comes
yeah.
to sequels or stuff like this, it's like, oh, leave it alone, and we love the way it is, and that's me as a fan of the original. I was like, I actually gonna make this film in the same world, uh, just later on. So it's more of a sequel, same name, but more of a sequel because we actually mention the first movie in this movie. So yeah, it was very surprising and it was a hell of a lot of fun to do this movie.
I was gonna say it's so goopy and nasty and gross, but I feel like that's your specialty. And it must have been, I mean, like, can you tell me more about figuring out how to do all of these like you just out the gate were already melty, gross, nasty. So like how did that work to get the right team together to make sure it looked as goopy and gross and nasty
Yeah,
as the
well,
original film?
it was one of those things as a 80s film lover, you know, this was the perfect movie to make that 80s style of movie
Yeah.
with all the prosthetics and in camera. And what helped even more with that, again, with like soundtrack is always nice, to have that like 80s feel, but still make it modern enough but it still feels old school. And then on top of that was that we shot on 35 millimeter. So that
Oh,
alone
that's
shooting on
right.
film,
That's crazy.
yeah. So shooting on film, it gave that extra feel of that, that old school thing. And then, yeah, it was really just getting the characters and getting the story right and bringing something new to the film and still playing what people liked about the original film, about the prosthetics and about the in-camera stuff. Obviously, that was very, very important for us to do that. And we had the blessing of the original Street Trash guys. So that was awesome. And it was awesome that you know, getting these ideas for sitting with the prosthetics guys and going, can we do this? Can we do that? And and then fitting it in throughout the movie, but obviously doing, wanting to do more gore, throughout the movie. But for me, it's very important that you got to have a strong story. You got to have characters that you love and enjoy, and which is, I think, in this scene of genre films, a lot of people forget to tick that box. I think on the lower sort of side of things. So it was important for me to have those characters that people love and can relate to. Well, in a way, being drug addicts and shit, but having those fun-loving characters and then obviously having the prosthetics and gore to go with that to even at the New Beverly, it was just awesome to sit there and have 2 nights sold out at Tarantino cinema and just seeing everybody get all the jokes and laughing and cheering. So it was awesome. I think it was a lot of fun, and I think people that watch this movie can see it's by a guy that likes films, and there's lots of references for other movies. I mean, even if you look at like the wardrobe in the movie, like you look at Two Bit Gary Green's wardrobe, it's got the yellow gloves and the red dungarees, which is the Roger Rabbit reference. And then you
Oh
look
God,
at
I didn't even think about
Alex's,
that.
yeah, and then you look at Alex's character, which is Ripley from Alien. So you look at all these, you look at all
That's
these
so
characters, and it's like, what is it? The two other actors, Tux and Sidwell, their characters they played was Escape from New York with Snake Plissken, and then the main bad guy. So it's all there's so much like little details and Easter
so
eggs
cool.
throughout the movie. But yeah, it was just an awesome experience. Again, I think people watching the film, I think they'll be able to see that we had a good time making this film.
That's what like watching it myself, I was just like everyone's just having a great time and everyone's just it feels like everyone is just having fun and that this was a like a work of like a labor of love, but also like I
Absolutely,
do
yeah.
love the character development you have in this movie because it's so easy to just be like, oh, it's a bunch of homeless people we're dissolving, it doesn't matter. But you really
Yeah.
make this little group of like found family misfits, which I think is
Yeah.
so
And they're all
important.
different. They're all different. There's something
Yeah,
for everybody. They're all different. So, when without giving any spoilers, when something happens to somebody, you're like, oh no. You really,
right?
that you really
Yeah.
feel for the character.
Yeah, and I also feel like, I mean, I know it's street trash and it's like melting people, but in this day and age, especially when we all are looking for found family, but also issues of home, like unhoused people, it is also like weirdly relevant too and important. Like,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know
That
what I
wasn't a
mean? Like,
mistake. That was
yeah.
that was that was a big thing that I wanted to push across because everywhere, like after COVID, and even COVID, it's even with this film with the whole government pushing things onto people and trying to take control of people and trying to get rid of the homeless in this. And then after COVID, it's worldwide, even before, but even more so after COVID, there's everywhere in the world. There's more
Yeah.
homeless people and stuff like that. And it's yeah, there's a lot of commentary on that, and yeah, you can look into that a lot. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff there.
Yeah. Well, was there a particular gag in this movie, not to give anything away, but that you were like particularly proud of that you were able to pull off, or that you were worried you weren't going to be able to pull off, but it ended up being amazing?
I think it was. I mean, there's so much planning that goes into a film, and every day is a challenge. Every day there's a
Yeah.
challenge. Every day you get so much done. So it's like, it's one of those where I don't look at it in a very specific bits. I look at it
Okay.
as a whole, and every single day, you have those challenges, whether it's light or whether it's, doing a prosthetic and you've only got one take at this, or otherwise the reset is going to be like an hour long and we haven't got
Oh.
another hour and then there was stuff with the prosthetics where we did it and we were happy with it. But then we looked at it and thought, you know what, we can push this even more and let's do some pickup shots. And then we did some extra pickup shots.
Ooh.
So there's always stuff like that and you can look at that with gore, but it's like with any other film, looking at oh, we need a pickup shot
Oh
because we
yeah.
want them to feel more for this character. So there's no different, but obviously with this type of film, you want to push the gore, you want to push that, you want to tick that box, and it was just great that we had such a great prosthetic team. Doing all the blood and guts and the fluorescent like colors to go with it, and when we shot a lot of those scenes, it was winter in South Africa. So I think when people think of South Africa, they still think it's like really hot and like warm the whole time. It's like winter gets like really cold. So, the actors that did have melts, they were like, it was cold. They struggled like a lot when we were shooting that. They were like on the pavement, like freezing cold, and there's
No.
like goo pipes leaking, and it's freezing, and they're like, "Ugh," and I'm like
Oh
trying to
no.
make them feel better, lying on the floor with them, going through it with them, just to make sure that they're all right.
That's
But
a real
yeah, it was
director
it
right
was
there
cool. It was
laying on
fun.
the ground while they're
Exactly.
going through it. But well,
Yeah, it's only
Ryan,
after they go, I'm like, oh fucking hell, thank God for that.
well, congratulations on Street Trash. It's incredible, and I'm so excited everyone gets to see it so soon. Congratulations.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.